down to Oslo to cover a concert in aid of Imran Khan's Cancer Appeal Fund. Now this concert, it was organized by the local Asian population there in association with a couple of cricket clubs. And talking of cricket, I was quite surprised to see that cricket was actually being played in Oslo, and that too by the Asian population. We went down to cover the cricketing event, whatever that was, and Imran, he was supposed to be the chief guest there, so he went down and shook hands with the people there, with the players, and then we looked around and saw the playing conditions. And it was indeed very encouraging to see that people had made all efforts to see that they play the game they're best at, and that is cricket. So we went down, and then afterwards I spoke to DILDAR BHATTI, DILDAR PARVEZ BHATTI. Now he's a very famous person on Pakistan television, and I have somehow never really quite made out whether he's a compere, an interviewer, or a comedian, or a professor, when in reality he is a professor. So I spoke to him before a concert which was given by RESHMA, and all again in aid of Imran Khan's Cancer Appeal Fund. And he came out with some very philosophical views, and then again I spoke to Imran after that briefly, for which you'll be watching a special exclusive program here again on TV Asia Sports. And then afterwards I spoke to quite a few of the recipients of awards at the concert. But first of all, let's go down to Oslo and see what Imran talks to these players about.
वेद आफ्ताब है जी, भाई है मेरा छोटा, ये ओपनर बैट्समैन है, ये यंग लड़का है जी, बहुत अच्छा बॉलर है। ये जी हमारी टीम का एक बहुत मेन बॉलर और बैट्समैन नदीम, यंग लड़का है, इसने भी यहीं सीखी क्रिकेट और यहीं पे खेला और बहुत अच्छा क्रिकेटर बनेगा।
तो ये सीखते किधर हैं यहाँ?
ये बस इधर वैसे ही खेल के कुछ वो बाइक आउट को देख के टीवी पे वो काफी बताता है। ये टीम के अंपायर हैं जी, रुखसार, ये खालिद साहब हैं।
Now, what did he think of cricket in Norway?
Well, considering the conditions, I think it's good. Because if you realize it's an artificial surface, I don't think they get to play much cricket here because of the weather. So considering all that, I think it's a great effort.
And a great effort by the local people in raising funds for your charity, isn't it?
Well, more by the cricketers in a true sportsman-like spirit. They've all joined hands with the Sadhak, who's been the main organizer, and they've all helped in making this trip a success to raise money for the hospital.
And I believe you got a concert lined up here in Oslo as well?
Yes, we have. We have a great comedian by the name of DILDAR BHATTI, who's very popular. And we have RESHMA, who's one of the all-time great folk singers from Pakistan. And so, yes, we hope to have an enjoyable evening and good fundraising.
Now, what have you done as far as fundraising is concerned in Oslo?
सबसे पहले तो मैं ये कहूँगा जी कि मैं ये चाहूँगा कि अपनी ज़बान में मैं अपने जज्बात का इजहार कर सकूँ, क्योंकि फूल से खुशबू निकाल ली जाए तो वो अपना हम तो आंखें फैला कर इमरान का इंतजार कर रहे थे। उनका ये जो काम है वो उसकी तारीफ करना तो ऐसे ही है जैसे सूरज को चांद चिराग दिखाना। हमने अपनी तरफ से पूरी कोशिश की, हम इसको अमदाद का नाम भी नहीं देना चाहते, हम अपना फर्ज समझ के हमने जितने भी यहाँ लड़के क्रिकेट खेलते हैं उन्होंने पूरी कोशिश की है कि ये इमरान खान के लिए और इस कॉज के लिए हम इनकी पूरी मदद करें। बाकी एक बात मैं ये बताना चाहूँगा कि हमारी ये खुशकिस्मती है कि इमरान खान ने ये इस काम का बीड़ा उठाया। अगर कोई और भी उठाता लेकिन इमरान के बारे बारे में तो यही कह सकते हैं। लोग तो कहते हैं ना जैसे आसमान पे एक चांद है या एक सूरज है। मैं ये कहता हूँ कि हो सकता है साइंस तरक्की कर ले तो आसमान पे 2 चांद मिल जाएं या 2 सूरज मिल जाएं, लेकिन क्रिकेट की दुनिया में सिर्फ एक ही इमरान है, एक ही रहेगा। तो मैं अपने नॉर्वे में रहने वाले आपकी साथों से ये पूरी अपील करूंगा कि जितने भी पाकिस्तानी हैं वो क्रिकेट खेलते हैं या नहीं खेलते, जितने भी एशियन हैं उनको इस कॉल के लिए अपनी भरपूर कोशिश के साथ इमरान खान के इस फंड में हिस्सा लेना चाहिए, और मैं ये समझता हूँ ये बहुत बड़ा जहां।
Thank you very much. Now, in my series of interviews with sporting personalities, ranging from cricket, hockey, squash, and so many others, I've got today with me a personality who makes people laugh, who makes people cry, and who makes people do so many things. And I caught up with him here in Oslo, Norway, and his name is PARVEZ DILDAR BHATTI. Now, he is here right now in aid of Imran Khan's cancer campaign, and he'll be performing in a concert tonight. But just before the concert here in Oslo, I thought I'll catch him up and speak to him and just get his views on life and generally what he's been up to. So welcome to TV Asia, Parvez.
It's been such a pleasure to be on TV Asia. I've seen your program, that I've heard so many things about you. So the Parvez goes common in both of us. You are Parvez Javed Mir and I'm Dildar Parvez Bhatti. But what's in the name? Well?
That's true. Now, tell me something. What should I call you, Dildar or Parvez?
Well, I said call me by any name. Call me Bhatti, call me Dildar. It's all.
So as long as I don't whistle, it'll be okay.
Yeah.
Now tell me, how long have you been here in Oslo?
I've been here 5 times. This is my 5th pilgrimage to this great city of Norway. The Baltic countries, the north is always beautiful, so people wanted to go to north. So 4 times I have been a nationalist. Imran Khan says we should rise above nationalism. We should have the citizens of the world label on us. So 4 times I have been here in connection with Pakistan Days shows. Now this is the 5th time I am for humanity. Imran Khan's cancer appeal. He's been fighting out against other teams of the world. Now he's bowling out cancer. And I have been around the world with him in the deserts of Kuwait and the hilly areas and this chilly place like Norway. Today is chilly, but we have all the warmth from Pakistani, Indian, Bangladeshi, and all the Asian society. The Norwegian people are also welcoming us since they hear that in a small country, Pakistan, there is going to be a big hospital with all its hospitality. And being Muslims, we believe that we can look after the poor people. And the rich would be looked after there too. But in the hospital which is being established at Lahore, there are some things that have to be clarified. Number one, it's a colossal thing. PJ. It's a colossal thing. So it got to be taking a long time to come up. And then prices are shooting up. The medicines and the medical equipment has gone up, exorbitant rates. Then the rupee has come down, the dollar has gone up, that sort of thing. And then there is the ego problem. The ego problem is that, number one, you want to show off. You are at a place where there is a cancer appeal and somebody says, well, I am a person, this is my name, and I want to give you $1 million. He gives the check, clap, clap, clap for him, but the next day, that check gets bounced. Or he stops payment because his ego clashes with the ego of Imran Khan, maybe, unknowingly. He didn't shake hands with me, he didn't smile at me, he didn't get a photograph with me. Now, Imran is, okay, a friend and a known personality, but he is selling his own personality for a great cause. So if he doesn't have a chance to shake hands with me, or he is not all that warm, that doesn't mean that I should take myself back from humanity. So there is a problem of bounced checks, there are a problem of unfulfilled promises, and the problem of prices going up. But we had in mind to start it by December, this fall, 93. But because of so many things, we didn't have a stable government. We had 5 governments changing in 3 months, and then we are waiting for the elections or a stable government to come, because always such colossal projects have the backing of the government. There must be the government to pep you up. So we are waiting, maybe we open in March. All the construction work is over. 5,500 square feet of underground place we have made with operation theaters and laboratories. And you will believe me, PJ, the first roof that we have is 7 feet wide and so thick, and put in all that strong material into it, so, because we have to fight against those ultra-red rays, or it is a necessity. So we are making it from pin to piano according to the book. The ground floor, putting in that marble, the best stone we have, so that we don't have to whitewash it.
Now tell me, Dildar, what really forces you to come along to Oslo and really perform in this concert tonight?
As I've been telling you, I went to New York. We had 3 shows there. And you take pride. If you are raising up $200 million and you are taking part in it and you give your art into it, you feel proud that you have been raising money here. We earn money here and there. We have a name. So if you can use your name for humanity, or you can sacrifice a night for humanity, or a few days, or you just perform for love, I think that is the best thing that one can give back to the society. The society has made you an artist or a cricketer, or with the grace of God, or with your own practice and your finesse. But what do you give the society, apart from the laughter and the tears that you said I give?
So after speaking to Parvez there, we went on to cover the concert by RESHMA, the well-known Pakistani folk singer. And indeed, it was quite different to see a folk singer singing all the way here in Oslo. So why don't we just sit back and watch, or rather listen, a couple of her songs.
खुदा जानता है कि जैसे इमरान भाई साहब हैं, ये हमारे एक मुल्क का जैसे एक खजाना जैसे कहते हैं ना, ऑल वर्ल्ड दुनिया के अंदर इनके मतलब जो क्रिकेट मैच है, मेरे को तो खैर पता नहीं है, लेकिन मेरे बच्चे पढ़े हुए हैं, वो कहते हैं कि माइन से अफजल अल्लाह का नाम है। और खुदा जानता वो जैसे अमेरिका में मैं वो जैक मेल्सन है जो क्या कहते हैं नेशनल इलेक्शन है जो और अपने मोहम्मदी साहब जो बहुत सन खेलते हैं, खुदा रसूल गवाह है कि मैं ये सोचता हूँ कि अल्लाह मियाँ मेरे को तने एक गाने वाला बना दिया, और ये मेरा भाई है, हमारे बेटे हैं, ये हम इतना फख्र समझते हैं कि हमारे पाकिस्तान की एक निशानी और इज्जत है और शान है। मैं तो इससे बड़ी दौलत कुछ नहीं समझते कि जिस टेलीविजन में देखो इमरान भाई और नजर आ रहे हैं। अब मेरी तरफ से ये भाई साहब को मैंने कहा चैरिटी का प्रोग्राम भी करूँगी और 25,000 मेरे पाकिस्तान का मैं दूँगी, मैं कर सकती हूँ। वैसे तो उनका करोड़ों का काम है, खुदा करे इनके मकसद में अल्लाह को कामयाब करे। संस्कार की आपकी आप जरूर पूरी खुदा करे और आपके भाइयों के लिए पूरी होगी। और संस्कार जो होता है वो सबके साझे का होता है, उसका हर मतलब अलग वो संस्कार होता है। तो जो भी है जो भी इंसान है, मेरे सब भाइयों से किसी मुल्क के मेरी उनसे ये गुजारिश है कि ये मायूस हो गया आपके ये लाल गाँव से ना जाएंगे।
wonderful songs there by RESHMA. Now, just during this interim period, there was a break here, and the prize distribution ceremony of the cricketing club took place. And here, all the cricketers who were man of the match or who did outstanding performances during the season, they came along and received their awards from Imran. So let's have a look and see what happened.
जो अरमान कोटर के वालिद के शरीर भी हैं, उनके बेटे हैं, उनकी याद में हम लोगों ने ये टूर्नामेंट शुरू किया था। इसके बाद तस्वीर लाते हैं अपना शौकत मेमोरियल टूर्नामेंट के बेस्ट बैट्समैन डेली साफ करके, और बेस्ट बॉलर भट्टी। शौकत मेमोरियल टूर्नामेंट के रनर अप सातवार रफी आए। और विनर टीम पहला शौकत मेमोरियल टूर्नामेंट सेंट्रल क्रिकेट क्लब अब्दुल मीर आए। सालों से बेहतरीन बैट्समैन सेंट्रल क्रिकेट क्लब एशिया है। बेस्ट ऑलराउंडर पिछले 2 सालों से मोहम्मद खानूम। अब भारत में उन 2-3 दोस्तों के लिए जिन्होंने के अपना शो के हमारी बहुत सेंट्रल क्रिकेट क्लब की बहुत मदद की है, खुसूसी नाम है, जिन्होंने के टिकटें बेचने में अपना सेंट्रल का बहुत साथ दिया। निकल बशीर रफी साहब और खाला साहब फसलों के, इन्होंने टिकटें बेचने में बहुत मदद की।
सबसे पहले मैं रेशमा का बहुत शुक्रगुजार हूँ। इन्होंने इससे थोड़े नोटिस पे क्योंकि मैंने हम किसी और को यहाँ लाने का सोचा है नॉर्वे में, तो इन्होंने बड़े थोड़े नोटिस पे इन्विटेशन, मैं चाहूँगा कि आप इनकी और हौसला अफजाई करें क्योंकि इनके लिए बड़ी मुश्किलों से अपना इन्होंने प्रोग्राम भी अरेंज किया। लेकिन एक चीज़ मैं वादे कर देना चाहता हूँ, मैं साथ ही कहने की कोशिश कर रही थी कि मुझे मेरे साथ माइकल जैक्सन से कंपेयर कर रही थी। मैं वादे कर देना चाहता हूँ कि मेरे में कोई क्वालिटीज नहीं माइकल जैक्सन की जो आजकल आप अखबारों में पढ़ रहे हैं।
Now, after they received all these awards, I managed to get all of them and get their views exactly on what they felt as far as the cancer appeal was concerned. And rightly so, because if you remember, Sunil Gavaskar spoke to me on our TV Asia program, and he said that cancer really knows no religion, no color, no caste, and no creed. It can strike anybody.
सबसे पहले तो ये कहूँगा कि इतना बड़ा कॉज है, इसके लिए कोई डोनेट या अपील या कुछ अमदाद का लफ्ज़ इस्तेमाल नहीं करना चाहिए। ये हमारा फ़र्ज़ है कि इसमें हिस्सा लेना चाहिए। और जहाँ तक इसके 2 ही कॉज हैं, एक तो ये खुद हॉस्पिटल है और दूसरा ये इमरान खान है। ये एक ऐसी शख्सियत है कि ऐसी शख्सियतें फितरत कानून के तहत आती हैं दुनिया में।
इमरान खान अपने वो हस्पताल के लिए जो कुछ भी कर रहे हैं, हम उनके लिए हम उनके बराबर शरीक हैं। मैं समझता हूँ कि इमरान भाई बहुत अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं और इसलिए हमने 12,000 का बल्ला खरीदा।
ये जो बैट है आपने खरीदा है जी, ये इमरान ने ऑटोग्राफ किया आपके लिए
जी।
This is the first time I ever shake hand with him, and I was very pleased, and that was my clear moment. That time I shake hand with Imran Khan.
Can you speak something in Norwegian? Can you say something?
Ja, det var väldigt bra att ha Imran här i Norge. Det var skickligt bra, alla folk var väldigt glada och alla var väldigt glada att Imran har varit här i Norge. Så jag kan inte ansikta alla folk. Så jag kan se bara vi älskar Imran Khan.
इस तरह के अगर फंक्शंस और प्रोग्राम्स को टीवी एशिया अगर ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा कवर करें तो मैं समझता हूँ हमारे इंडियन सब कॉन्टिनेंट में न कि सिर्फ कैंसर, फिजिकल कैंसर दूर होगा, बल्कि दूसरी कई तरह के जो कैंसर वहाँ चल रहे हैं वो सभी दूर हो सकते हैं.
Very encouraging views by the sportsmen there, and it's really encouraging to see that we have quite a few followers. In fact, 95% of the Asians in Oslo subscribe to TV Asia Sports. Well, not to TV Asia Sports, but TV Asia. But it's good to see that the sports channel is being followed so closely. But keep sending in your views and your suggestions, and the address, that is PO Box 88, Northwold, UV 55YA. So don't forget, on the 26th of September, World 11 versus an Asian 11, and the match will take place at Old Trafford. The match, it starts exactly at 12 p.m., so make sure you're there well before in time. Tomorrow, we'll be showing you the highlights of the test matches. The second test match played between South Africa and Sri Lanka. But for the moment, it's goodbye from me here on TV Asia Sports. Now here right now, I'm in Oslo, Norway, where we are recording a concert for Imran Khan's cancer appeal. And Imran, as you know, you've not spoken to him, but I have spoken to him. And he's always up to something, raising money in organizing cricket matches or dinners and so many other things. And he's always got a hectic schedule. So just before this concert here in Oslo tonight, I managed to get hold of him. And I am going to ask him the question which you, right now, are dying to ask him, that what is actually happening as far as his hospital is concerned. So Imran, what do you have to say on that?
Well, PJ, the hospital was scheduled to be open in December. We've already completed 85% of the construction. The problem is we wanted to buy equipment. We needed some help from the government, but because there have been 4 governments that have changed, we don't have any one particular government to deal with at the moment. As a result, we've delayed it so that after the elections, whichever government comes, we hope to get some assistance from them as far as the equipment goes, and also to offset the effects of a 10% devaluation. So right now the date is in March. We are all 100% now scheduled to open in March, because after that we'll start incurring running costs. So far the plans are going, and therefore there's hectic efforts to raise as much money as possible before March.
I see. And I believe you're encouraging a lot of overseas doctors to come up and work in the hospital.
No, wherever we can get the doctors from. I mean, if you have a vacancy, we advertise it. Wherever we can get doctors, preferably Pakistanis, and all of them are Pakistanis, and they come, they apply for it, and that's where we've got the doctors from. Most of them happen to be from America, Pakistani doctors working in America who've applied.
So there's no real particular format as far as where they come from?
No, we advertise in the magazines, in the medical journals, and whoever, you know, we interview people. Our medical board interviews people, and whoever is fit is taken in.
Now, what type of officials have you got as board of governors and trustees and, you know, people who actually work in the organization?
Well, you know, the trustees and the board of governors is more or less the same thing. The board of governors is half composed of, you know, people who are not that professional, but the other half, which runs the board actually, are professionals like Babar Ali, who's our current finance minister, Razak Daud, who's a top industrialist, Dr. PARVEZ Hassan, one of the best lawyers in Pakistan. Our accounts are audited by Ferguson's, which is a reputable firm in Pakistan.
Now, in raising money for your hospital, You've organized a lot of cricket matches here in England and abroad as well. Now, for example, this last 2 games you organized at Crystal Palace and Bradford. Now, they're a wonderful way of bringing international players here in London and watching, people come along and watch. Now, what did you think of the crowd behavior in Crystal Palace particularly?
Well, it was regrettable. I mean, it's sad that certain members of the crowd, and I'm sad to say they were Pakistanis, who feel that they have to, in order that Pakistan should not have lost the match, they felt that it was better to stage a riot. Now, it all brings bad name to the country. It shows very poor sportsmanship. I mean, what were they trying to prove? That Pakistan cannot lose? I mean, in sport, one team has to win and lose. Both teams try to win. You should be, when you celebrate the Pakistan team winning, you should also have the guts. It takes courage to accept that the team is going to lose sometime. And I feel really sad for these people who have in trying to be patriotic, actually they do so much damage to the country. Because really, it has meant that I'm not going to stage matches in England again. I'll think 10 times before I would try and organize matches, because it's not worth it.
Now, you say so, and yet the Indians, they came all the way to support your cause.
Exactly. I mean, I felt really, sad about the whole incident. The Indians came, they paid, they played for more or less nothing. They were very sporting about it. They had just finished a series in Sri Lanka. They flew all over, and especially all credit to Sunil Gavaskar, who organized the whole tour. And then suddenly, you find, despite us repeatedly telling the people that let's make cancer win, fight against cancer win, rather than India or Pakistan, let's not worry about it, although the teams played the match competitively. And yet, despite all our warnings, this very foolish element who, in trying to sort of be overzealous, trying to be so patriotic, they damaged the image of Pakistan.
Especially like this boy we're going to be seeing on screen right now, taking the wicket away. I mean, I couldn't understand what was the reason for taking the wicket away.
All I can say is that it's the most moronic behavior. It defies logic. It defies civilized behavior. It was bad for the image of Pakistan. It was bad for especially these people, community growing up in another country. Is this how they are trying to show off themselves? I think that I hope that people watch this incident and learn from it, how not to behave.
Now, Bradford was a very good example, wasn't it, compared to Crystal Palace?
Yes, Bradford was a great example, but sadly, because of Crystal Palace, not many people turned up in Bradford thinking that there would be another riot.
Now, will you be organizing any more games such as these?
No, as I said before, I will certainly at the moment, I don't think so. I mean, if I feel that, that the crowds will behave properly, if I really felt like that, maybe I would think about it, but at the moment, I certainly have no plans.
But wouldn't you say that maybe if you had a test match ground, that would be much more better than perhaps grounds like Oslo Stadium or Crystal Palace?
I don't think so. I mean, I haven't thought about it, and I feel that we put in so much effort. It was a lot of hard work, a lot of volunteers working. It took an effort, it took a lot of running around. And at the end, when something like that happened, and 2 years in running, one must, it's a question of once bitten, twice shy.
Now, here in cold Oslo, right now, it's been an experience because this is the first time you've been here to raise funds. What's been the response from the Asian community?
Well, so far overwhelming. There's a young man, Tasadduq Chaudhary, who invited me here, who's organized the whole event this evening. He has done a lot of running around, and I know because for the past 3.5 years, all I've done is organize such events, and I know the effort it takes. And so I feel very happy that there are people like him around, who can mobilize our community and mobilize those people who want to contribute to help something, a cause which will help other human beings. And you know, as I said, I'm overwhelmed by the reception here, the effort of the people to help this hospital.
And generally, for organizing such events, you're approached by so many different people from all walks of life, don't you?
Yes, there are approaches, you know, not that many. There are different types of approaches. And of course, we have to work out, you know, who to sort of go along with. Because, you know, of course, at times you end up going to an event which is a disaster for the people who organize it as well as for our charity.
Now, why is it that I've seen a lot of factions, they seem to emerge everywhere, wherever, you know, events are taking place to raise funds, when in reality, the main cause is all the same?
Well, PJ, this happens because everyone wants to be a star. People want to, you know, not do the functions for the right reasons. In other words, it's not because they want to help the charity. It's not because they believe in a cause, but it's because they want to become a star. They want to get on stage. They want to get acknowledgement. And I always find that it's the wrong reason. You know, sure, I mean, there are people who, everyone wants to be appreciated. But, you know, when people, their desire to be appreciated far exceeds the desire to help the charity, then it has detrimental effects. And I always find that when too many of such people are around, the community is split. And, you know, it in fact starts working against each other. I mean, I have been to, one of our functions flopped because a whole part of the committee could not bear the credit of that function going to some other person, so they boycotted it. So, you know, I just find these people sad cases because, you know, what sort of people want to just organize charity just so that their names will appear in the newspapers or they can be seen on a video?
Now, I believe you've got a few dinners lined up in November in London.
That's right. We have 3 dinners, Manchester, Birmingham, and London. These are 3 charity dinners where Dilip Kumar is coming, Ataullah Isa Khelvi is coming, Hemlata, an Indian star, she's coming. So yes, we hope to raise money for the hospital. I think there will be tremendous attractions, such big names. Of course, DILDAR and BHATTI will be there as a compare. And I think we should do very well out of it.
And talking of attractions, don't you think it's about time that you had a cozy, homely atmosphere, meaning you ought to be married by now?
Well, PJ, I'm waiting for you. You see, you're older than me and I want to see you married first.
I'm not older than you. Now, Imran, charity starts at home. Whatever gave you the idea of raffling a car for the charity?
Well, the only thing that gave me an idea was that, you know, we were desperate. You know, we have to open the hospital in March. We need a lot of money. We need a lot of foreign exchange, I mean, money collected outside Pakistan. And, you know, whatever, this was just an idea that came that, you know, maybe raffling my Mercedes Sports, I might be able to, you know, it might be very attractive for people to, for £1 ticket, buy this car, which, by the way, I have to say it's not because I got tired of it. It's a beautiful car, drives very well. But, you know, it's just that we want the money for the hospital, and we have to open the hospital in March. So we are doing everything possible, and my car is just one of the things. Other people have made probably even bigger sacrifices.
When is the car actually going to be raffled? Do you have a particular date in mind?
Yes, 14th of November, we hope to raffle the car, announce the raffle.
And what are the prices for the ticket?
It's only £1.
Really?
You know, it's you can get tickets from any of the Pakistani banks, Habib, National, UBL, Allied Bank. You can go to their branches and get the tickets. There are also various other places. Of course, our charity office, you could always call for tickets.
You seem to lead such a stressful life. What do you do actually to relax? Or do you relax at all?
I will be relaxing this winter once the shooting season starts. I love partridge shooting.
And what about music? Any interest in music?
Music, I'm looking forward to seeing RESHMA this evening. You know, she's one of the most talented folk singers in Pakistan, a complete natural. And of course, you know, the song Hayo Rabba Nahi Lagda Dil Mera, you know, I'm really looking forward to listening to that.
Why don't we listen to a recording of Reshma here, that song, shall we?
Let's go ahead.
हाँ जी इमरान खान साहब की फिर फरमाइश है आंदी आरज़ू है जेडी मां दी पूरी करे मेरी दुआवां हैं ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਵਰਗੇ ਭੈਣ ਭਰਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਤੇ ਇਨਸ਼ਾਅੱਲਾ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਹੋਵੇਗੀ
Imran, that is a wonderful choice there of Reshma. You've always been into folk music?
I've been into any type of music. I mean, folk is just one type of music. You know, good music is good music.
Now, coming just back into cricket again, you just recently wrote an article on Viv Richards. Was he really the most fearsome batsman you ever bowled to?
He was the only genius of my time. I mean, he was the only batsman who had, you know, qualities of a genius.
And you mean to say there were no other batsmen who troubled you?
Well, no, I mean, there were a lot of batsmen who on their day were good. But I'm saying Viv Richards, from 76 to 86, I mean, no one came close to him. He could play innings which were beyond the capabilities of mortals. I mean, all the rest were mortals. They were great players, there were some outstanding batsmen. But he was the only genius. I mean, he could play the sort of innings no one else could.
Now, you wrote an article just when Viv was on the verge of playing a swan song for Glamorgan. And would you say that he ought to stay in cricket now, or he may go back in politics, or he, you know, just enter politics?
You see, it's a very personal decision. You know, I don't know what his circumstances are. He's obviously not the player he was. And to keep playing, you know, it just takes away from the legend. I mean, people don't want to see geniuses to be mere mortals. And so that's all I would say about Viv. I mean, we would like to, you know, people want to remember him like he used to be.
How about you going into politics?
Well, you know, I leave the politics to the politicians. I really want at the moment, focus is very sharply on this hospital. And, you know, I want people to help me in it because it's really the first time we've had a project which you can say is a truly national project. Everyone has contributed. Children, poor people, rich people, you know, all sorts of people have contributed to it. So it's a really purely a national project, a self-help basis, you know, where we've all got together and tried to help ourselves. And I really wanted to succeed.
Now, talking of politics, I remember a few years back I was at your place and the late President Ziaul Haq rang up and offered you a ministership, and you declined.
Yeah, I mean, General Zia very flashingly offered me interim government after he had dissolved Mr. Jadeja's government. And again, you know, I got an offer this time, which again was very flattering. But the point is, you know, one must know one's limitations. Maybe if I had nothing to do and if I had time, I would have tried my best to help my country, you know, which is above all something I would want to do, because, you know, I've achieved things in my life. I'm a fulfilled person. Whatever I wanted out of life, I've got. And I would like to have help on my own countrymen, but, you know, my focus is the hospital right now. If I go into politics, who's going to worry about what's happening about them raising the money? If I try to do it from within politics, then I'm not doing justice to the post of a minister, because I'm not meant to be a minister to help my hospital. The idea is to help the country. So therefore, you know, if I'm not in a position, and my priority is the hospital, and that's what I'm doing.
Now, a bit of nostalgia here, as far as your cricketing career was concerned. Now, what would you say would be your best bowling performances in one-day international cricket?
You see, my best bowling figures were in Sharjah. I mean, I might have bowled better on occasion, but my best figures were in Sharjah, where, you know, long time ago, I got my best bowling figures 6 or 14 or something, but we lost the match, you know, so, I mean, it didn't give as much satisfaction. But it certainly, I bowled, I mean, I had statistically the best figures, although, as I said, I might have bowled better.
Before you say anything, why don't you just have a look at all the 6 wickets you took in that match, shall we? Yeah, let's do that.
The short pitch delivery, and Srikanth, a very tentative shot, and he's out, caught it square leg, and just look at the Pakistan half of the supporters. India have lost their 3rd wicket, and what a sensational spell, and just look at that crowd enjoying every moment of the beginning of this tournament. Fourth wicket, and Imran has really put Pakistan on top. And
Gold, and India are in real trouble. 5 down for 34, and Imran has taken his 5th wicket.
I think that we'll probably see the replay that that ball didn't do it.
Perhaps one can hope to see, and Imran has struck again to get his 6th wicket, and Madan Lal is out. What a superb catch, Mansoor.
Wasn't it? You watch it now. It's a bit wide. He goes for the slash, and right at the fingertips, full stretch.
Interesting bowling performances there. Now, I'm going to ask Imran, what did you actually feel taking Shastri's wicket with the first ball there? Because you just returned from abroad then, didn't you?
Yeah, I got back from Australia because I'd been playing for New South Wales. And it was really my second time I was playing for Pakistan after I'd broken my leg.
What do you think of Vinod Kambli, Azharuddin and Tendulkar? Because India is a formidable force now in international cricket, aren't they?
I'm not sure whether they are in Test cricket. I think they are in one-day cricket. I think they've got a sort of good batting lineup, which is always a recipe for success in one-day cricket. Kambli, I haven't seen enough. He is obviously talented, but I have to see him more. Tendulkar, of course, I have seen, and he's, a very gifted batsman. And on good wickets, I think maybe on the moving wicket, he might be still a little loose, but on good batting wickets, he's quite a formidable batsman. Azharuddin, again, he's a good wicket player. I find on a low bounce wickets, he's devastating. On a bouncy wicket, he doesn't sort of, his technique is not that catered to play against the bouncing ball.
Now we've got Manoj Prabhakar, he's just signed up for Warwickshire. And he was, the other day, I remember asking you for advice. Now what do you think of Manoj? Now that would be a good move, do you think?
I think he's a very fine cricketer. I think that Indian cricket without him would have struggled because, apart from Kapil Dev, they didn't have any bowler. And Manoj, I think, is a very fine all-rounder. He's very underrated. I think he's a very good competitor. He tries hard. He doesn't give in. He moves the ball around. He's not fast, but he does move the ball around at a nice pace. And then he's quite a pugnacious batsman. I think that he's a very fine cricketer.
Now success comes from praying. Do you pray a lot?
Oh, success comes from hard work. It doesn't come from praying. You sit back in your room and start praying, you won't get anywhere. You have to work hard and then have faith in God, and then, of course, have the right intentions. Your, what we call niyat. Now, I believe a lot in that. I mean, your intentions are what makes everything. Your deeds, everything depends on your intentions. Why do you want to be successful? What is your burning desire to reach that certain goal?
What makes you happy?
What makes me happy? That's too abstract to answer right now. At the moment, if anything really that gives me fulfillment is watching this project near completion, only because I'm involved in it so much. I put so much of myself in it that, when I see the project getting closer, I mean, that gives me the greatest happiness. But then there are other things that make me happy.
Talking of so much involvement, how much actually yourself you've contributed to the project?
In money terms, I would like to be the greatest contributor, and I think at the moment I am. I am the highest contributor to the project.
Really? Can you give us a figure?
Well, it's 1 crore, which is I don't know in dollars how much that would be now. I can't say, but it's 10 million rupees.
And you've done that. Now, if he can give 1 crore out of his own pocket, and like I said, charity begins at home, well, you sitting out there, I'm sure you're out there to support that cause as well. Because this disease really needs no religion, it needs no weather conditions, it needs or recognizes nobody but just the disease. And here, Imran, I really commend you for such a noble cause. Now tell me, what more can the people come up and do for you?
Just, help us. We've got our campaigns going. We've got this, my slick Mercedes, which they can just buy for £1. And I just want people to take part in this competition. And also, of course, we want them to support our dinners, our concerts, which start in November. That would be wonderful.
Imran, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.